Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2020 Formula 2 World Tour Championship for round 7 of 10 in Mexico. We currently hold the championship lead, but the margin is not particularly great, so we need a good weekend here to try and stretch that out a bit further. So into qualifying we go, and we'll see if we can get those 4 points for pole position. But I wasn't feeling particularly comfortable around this circuit in practice. Getting out of this last corner is actually very, very tricky in these Formula 2 cars. So we'll see what we can do as we complete our first lap. It really is no good, so we will have to go again and do another. And on our second flying lap, you can see we found some improvement through the first few corners, and we will stay on board for the rest of this lap to see how it all plays out. And a tiny bit deep into the hairpin, not too bad though, and we are still just gaining time bit by bit around this lap, and that's what we need to do. We need to just clean up the lines a bit from what we did on lap number 1. So through this middle sector, taking a lot of curb through there, and just trying to get through that tricky section as fast as possible into now the stadium section on our flying lap. And let's see how this lap unfolds, where this lap will put us in the overall timing. Really getting aggressive over the curbs there, missing the apex though of the final corner, but we will cross the line, and it will only put us up into 6th position, but hardly any people have set times so far. You can see RAGHUNATHAN behind us, and that is Calderon coming out of the pits. So we'll go again and see if we can set another lap with that little bit of slipstream there, but through the first few corners, missing the apex there, and a couple of apexes missed, and that's cost us some time, and we're actually quite a long way off our initial lap. And as we head through the middle sector, we're not finding any improvement. We make a mistake there on the curb, and that is that lap done, and this set of tyres done as well. They've got nothing left to give in terms of peak speed, so that is our qualifying session done, and we'll qualify wherever we do at the end of the session.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top 3. AITKEN, Sete Camera and Mick SCHUMACHER. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. And
it is a pretty awful qualifying for us, down in 17th position, only ahead of LATIFI, Calderon and RAGHUNATHAN. So we'll need to improve in the race, so let's get into it.
Welcome. It's time to head back to Mexico at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez for today's big race. The teams are all lined up on the grid, and we're just about ready to join them for what will no doubt be a memorable race. Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez gets its name from the legendary drivers and brothers Pedro and Ricardo Rodriguez. This circuit is the highest above sea level on the calendar, coming in at just under 2,300 meters. So while the drag will be low around the 17 corners here in Mexico City, cooling could be a problem for cars who spend too much time in the dirty air. We are nearly ready for the start of today's race, but in the meantime, let's take a look at the grid. Jack Aitken lines up on pole position, and it's Sergio Sete Camera in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Schumacher, ILOTT, Jordan King, and MATSUSHITA, Alesi, De Vries, Boccolacci, Sean Galeo, Delatraz, Boschon, Nikita Mazepin, and HUBERT, ZHOU, Giotto, Correa, and Nicholas Latifi. Calderon, Mahaveer RAGHUNATHAN starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So here we are on the grid then for the feature race here in Mexico. Super softs to the softs will be the strategy. So very soft compound tyres here as we get ready to go to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the feature race here in Mexico. And it's an okay start for us, not great. But we will just need to be careful on our run down to the first corner. A lot of cars ahead of us to try to avoid. RAGHUNATHAN is passed as Calderon is the only one left behind us, so a bad start as we head down towards the first corner. And there's a car who's lost control, and they have caused a bit of chaos here down to the first corner. We have a bit of contact with Anthoine HUBERT, and the virtual safety car is out. And here is a replay, and the car that into the wall there, that is Nikita Mazepin, and he made some contact with HUBERT. and Zhou as well. Here's the onboard with Mazepin, and we'll see exactly what happened. And just as soon as he hit the brakes, just squirmed around a bit there and lost control of the car, hit the wall, and a few other people were caught up in this as well. Here's the onboard with Anthoine HUBERT, and he got a little piece of it on the front wing, and there was I think one of the UNI Virtual AC cars here of Zhou, who was caught up in it as well, and they both got a little bit of damage as well, I think. So yeah, unfortunate for them. But the virtual safety car goes back in. No, it doesn't. It's virtual. It doesn't go anywhere. It just kind of disappears. So as we continue on then, after that virtual safety car, it is another virtual safety car, and that is because Mahaveer RAGHUNATHAN has lost his front wing as well. So all kinds of chaos unfolding in the first 2 laps of this race. Can we please get down to the first corner without an incident on lap 3? RAGHUNATHAN just losing control, same mistake as Mazepin, but thankfully this time no other cars involved, as RAGHUNATHAN was running at the back. Here's the onboard with Calderon, and you can see Calderon was trying to make a move on Latifi, as RAGHUNATHAN equally had a bit of a run in the slipstream, but just lost control in the braking zone, and Calderon was able to make that move in the end by the look of things. And Guanyu ZHOU actually has a time penalty. I think that's for ignoring yellow flags, but anyway, as we continue on then, a good restart here, but not quite enough to get close to Guanyu ZHOU. But yeah, that braking zone into the first corner proving difficult for a couple of the drivers here, both Mazepin and RAGHUNATHAN having some issues in that zone of the circuit. So we need to watch out there, because you never know, there may be more carnage to come. But hopefully this time we should all be able to get down to that part of the circuit, and thankfully it is all fine. But yeah, you can see here we are right behind Guanyu ZHOU. He is really slow through this part of the circuit, just no turning speed with that damage to his front wing after a bit of contact with Mazepin. So yeah, he's really holding us up there, but we were not able to do anything, and we are still stuck behind the Chinese driver and his struggling car. So yeah, it's unfortunate. We're just going to be stuck here for a bit longer. So as we continue on, another mistake through the final corner, and that's really what's affecting us. The safety car is out now, and that is because Callum ILOTT has had an incident. Our teammate has lost control a little bit earlier on in the piece than everyone else who was having issues there at that part of the circuit. But here is the onboard with ILOTT, and that was before the braking zone. Just lost control trying to make the move on the car ahead, and that was Mick SCHUMACHER ahead of him. Just tried to duck out of the slipstream to make an overtake, and left it too late, turned too hard on the steering wheel, and lost the back end with the DRS open. Here's the onboard with MATSUSHITA, and backing off there for the safety car out. So yeah, that is very disappointing for Callum ILOTT, as we say goodday to him on the way past. And yeah, we'll move on from that.
You're in P15.
And yeah, so we're in 15th position. The safety car, the pit window is open, and in Formula 2 you're not allowed to pit under virtual safety car, but regular safety cars you can. So we are going to do that. We're going to take full advantage of this, and this should dig us out of this hole we're in with track position, and we'll run to the end on these tyres. It'll be a very long stint on the soft compound tyres, but I think if we look after them, we should just about be able to do it. So that is the target, to try and make it to the end on these tyres. So yeah, we'll have a few laps under safety car. That will certainly help us, and yeah, we'll not have to worry about the cold tyre phase either, as that is under safety car, so we won't be losing time there. So I think this is the right call, even though it'll be a very long stint on these tyres. I think we should be fine. And there you go, P17. So we only lost 2 positions during that pit stop, with RAGHUNATHAN and Mazepin both still behind us after their incidents down at the first corner, and both of them having to drive rather long distance with no front wing, or at least damage in the case of Nikita Mazepin. But anyway, safety car restart, and we were not able to take advantage of the extra grip that we have at this point. But you can see we do have some kind of advantage there over Latifi, but not able to use it just yet, so we'll have to wait and be patient there. But yeah, we're just going to take our time. Everyone else will need to make a pit stop and we'll take the lead then, so yeah, there's no point trying to get into too many fights with other cars, but as we continue on then, we do have to watch out for Nikita Mazepin behind. But meanwhile, up ahead, Latifi down the inside of Guanyu ZHOU, who is still struggling with damage in this race. Latifi gets the move done, and now we might actually be able to make some progress. What was happening is ZHOU was holding up a bit of a DRS train, and we weren't really able to make any moves because everyone had DRS. So once ZHOU drops out of DRS range of the cars ahead, maybe we'll be able to overtake him, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. You can see how slow he is here, how much time we lose behind him, but meanwhile Mazepin still looking around, trying to make a move to the inside to give him a bit of space there. But now we are right behind Guanyu ZHOU, but we've missed the apex of turn 3, and that's affected our exit. A huge slide, and that is going to cost us so much time that Mazepin goes flying past us there, and he takes that position, but we'll see if we can get it back. We're late on the brakes, down into turn 4, sliding it in, and we will get that position back off Nikita Mazepin. That was very aggressive there, but we had to get that done. Little think of how to move on ZHOU, but there's not really heavy enough braking zone to get that done, so we continue on, and ZHOU makes his pit stop as we almost run into the back of him there, and thankfully recognise what he's trying to do there just in time. So yeah, on board with Nikita Mazepin now as he tries to make his way past along the straight. We push him all the way to the inside, and that's going to compromise his line as we head into the first few corners. We go back to the racing line and brake later than the Russian, and we'll maintain the position through turns 2 and 3 and retake what will be the effective lead once the 10 cars ahead of us make their stops. So that is the target for us, and Mazepin has another pit stop as well left in his strategy. Given how early he made his first stop, he will have to make another, so that basically confirms that we'll take the lead no matter how this battle with Mazepin plays out, as we run a little bit wide here out of the weird double right-hander hairpin thing, but we hold on to the position and now take the lead of the feature race here in Mexico. But Mazepin down the inside and gets the move done way before the corner, and he is clear and ahead of us now. Yeah, but I don't know if we'll really fight this one too hard, because like I said, he's got another pit stop, so if we have the opportunity to come back at him, we will, but I'm not going to stress about it too much, because he will stop again.
Their tyres are 13 laps old. We think they've got one more stop.
And confirmation there that he does indeed need to stop again. So yeah, that is good news for us, and we won't need to yeah, worry about him too much. We've also got Mahaveer RAGHUNATHAN behind us. He also needs to make another stop, as he only stopped on lap 2. But as we continue on, we go down the inside of Mazepin at the very latest moment there. That to be honest, was not an intentional overtake. I just missed my braking point and had to take some avoiding action. We got a collision warning, which is fair enough. And now Mazepin is going to be coming back at us along the straight, as Jeff's trying to tell me is dropping back. That is certainly not the case, as he retakes the lead. He locks up into the braking zone, but he holds on, as we're just going to take it easy and make sure we survive this one. And Mazepin retakes the lead. Meanwhile, behind us, this is Nobuharu MATSUSHITA in the second position, effectively taking that from RAGHUNATHAN, who still is yet to make his final stop. And yeah, that is him dealt with for MATSUSHITA, and Mazepin dealt with for us, as the Russian finally makes his pit stop. We will not be making ours, so we will go to the end on these tyres, and that is just about it for strategy in this race. So it is all about looking up these tyres and hoping that we have enough pace left to keep the likes of MATSUSHITA behind us for the rest of the race. So let's see if we can do it. So as we move on then to a later time in the race, 10 laps to go in this one, MATSUSHITA has caught up to us rather quickly, and I don't know if there's a lot we can do to defend. We'll try our best as he goes around the outside of the first corner. We will make sure to leave him some room at turn 2, but we will hold on to the position for now, but a little bit deep through turn 3. MATSUSHITA gets the switch back, and we're going to be continuing this battle as we head up towards turn 4, but we should be able to hold him off with the inside line here, and we do just that, holding off our Japanese championship rival here, and maintaining the lead for the time being, but it may not last forever as he comes back again, and this time much faster than us in a straight line, and there's just nothing we can do against that. We try and get back down the inside into the first corner, little bit of contact made, and we lose the back end as we try to continue the fight on older tyres with less grip, and it was just never going to work out for us, and that's cost us a whole bunch of time, and of course that position to MATSUSHITA, but yeah, that's unfortunate. We continue on, and now Mick SCHUMACHER and a whole bunch of cars behind us all trying to take this position away from us as well. I'm going to try and hold on to as many positions as I can in this race, but it's going to be a stretch to even get these tyres to the end of the race, so it will be very tricky. We'll see what we can do. Mick SCHUMACHER flies past in a straight line. Jack Aitken coming through as well. We'll be able to hold him off as SCHUMACHER locks up the left front heading into turn 1. That's a bit unusual, but we will continue this fight with Aitken. SCHUMACHER's through. There's nothing we can do about him, but we do get back ahead of Jack Aitken as we exit turn 3, and we'll maintain the podium position for the time being. But yeah, this is really difficult to defend. We just can't carry any speed through these corners, and we're just losing time every single corner. Aitken goes flying past again along the straight, and this time we just can't fight back. We get very close through turns 2 and 3, but you can see a bit of understeer on the exit in the dirty air, and we just can't re-overtake Jack Aitken. I think he had the DRS advantage there as well. As we continue on, we've got a Lacey down the inside as we were a little bit on the grass on the entry to turn 1, but we will manage to hold off Lacey round the outside of turns 1 and 3. A bit of a wobble on the exit there, but we'll hold on to the position, and Lacey will have to wait for another opportunity. Meanwhile, further back, Anthoine HUBERT retires from the race with a mechanical failure, and the Frenchman will not finish this one, and yes, that is unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, back on board with us, it's the final lap of the race now, and we don't have too much longer to defend this position from Lacey. We've got a bit of a gap to him, but look at the overspeed that he's got. He won't quite get close enough for turn 1, but turn 4 is the major concern, so we need to focus on trying to get a good exit here. We've missed the apex again just slightly of turn 3, and now Lacey has got the run to the outside as we head up towards turn 4. We'll need to watch out, and he's got ahead of us. We'll see if we can now break him, the Frenchman, around the outside in the Trident, but we will get the inside line outside for the next corner, turn 5, but we hold on to the position and maintain 4th place deep into the hairpin, but it won't be enough of an opportunity for Lacey. He's got the nose in on the right hand side, but the next corner is left, and you're not going to hold it around the outside of this one. We go deep though. Lacey with the switchback, and he's got through, but he's very slow on the inside. We get the position back around the outside through the S's, and that's a sweet little move for us, carrying the speed and taking the inside for the next right-hander. Here's the onboard with Lacey, and you can see how opportunistic he was, but just he was slow through there to get back to the left to try and open up this corner, but we did the opposite, opened up the previous corner, carried the speed there, and we're able to get to the inside line, so that one really worked out for us. But meanwhile, up ahead, here is your race winner, Nobuharu Matsushita. Across the line he comes to win in Mexico, and for us, we will just about hold off Giuliano Lacey, but that was a hard-fought battle with the Frenchman, and we're going to come home with a 4th place finish here in the feature race in Mexico.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
From 4th last on the grid to 4th, I will certainly take that. The safety car of our teammate crashing certainly helped.
Brilliant stuff from Carlin today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
The safety car made a big difference today, there's no doubt about it. I can't be certain, but it would have been a very different race and probably podium too without it. What I do know is that they came out of that situation in a favorable position. The safety car really does alter the balance of the race.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raced some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance.
So it is Nobuharu Matsushita who wins for the Carlin team. Mick Schumacher will finish up in second position with Jack AITKEN in third for Campos.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Nobuharu Matsushita takes over the lead of the drivers' championship after that excellent result. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Alex, I choose Juan Manuel Correa. Just impressed me in the overtakes maneuver, so well done to him.
And here's how things are shaping up in the teams' championship. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Meanwhile, Prema have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way to the top. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you there. Take care.
Well, there we have it, the end of the feature race, and I'd say that was a pretty successful one given where we started. I don't think we really could have got a lot more out of that. I think pitting under the safety car was certainly the right choice, because we just could not get through the field with the way things were going in that race. I don't think we would really I don't think we would have even scored points. We just didn't quite have the pace as we didn't have in qualifying. But yeah, the strategy call to come into the pits under safety car was absolutely perfect. And on top of that, the timing of that safety car too was on lap 6, which is the earliest lap you're allowed to pit in Formula 2. So yeah, that was extremely fortunate timing for that to come out as well. If it come out any earlier, it wouldn't have worked out for us. So yeah, that was really, really good. The only unfortunate part of it was it was our teammate that crashed to bring out that safety car. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame as far as the team's championship is concerned. But yeah, as far as the drivers go, we are in a good position still after this one. Matsushita obviously winning this race is not ideal for our championship. I don't know what it is in this game. I've done 2 seasons in Formula 2, this is the 3rd, and every single one it's a title fight with Matsushita. He is his AI in the Formula 2 is very, very good. Just as he is in real life, a very, very good driver. So it's no real surprise, but yeah, it's going to be tough to try and beat him. But we'll do our best. We will have a higher starting position in the next one. But I think for now he's actually in the lead of the championship for the first time this season, I think. So yeah, he's really coming live in this one and really taking the fight to us after we had a sizable margin earlier on. So anyway, let's get into the sprint race.
And we're back. After yesterday's feature race, the top 8 drivers have been reversed on the grid, setting up some exciting action as we launch into today's event, the sprint race. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
So here we are on the grid then for the sprint race here in Mexico. A no stop on the strategy, but as you can see, it will be raining to around the half-hour mark in this race. So we will need to watch out for that when it comes. But for now, we'll go to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the sprint race here in Mexico, and it's a pretty bad start for us, honestly, and Schumacher is already trying to get past us. It's an even worse start from Nick de Vries, and he's already dropped from pole position down to 4th, and he might lose another one as Schumacher is having a look to the inside of him. As we have a little look around the outside, we'll go a bit more aggressive through the corner, and we will get alongside Nick de Vries through turn 2, around the outside of turn 3, and we should just about be able to get the power down over the curve there, and causing ourselves some issues on the exit, but we do get ahead of Nick de Vries and get ourselves up into 4th. So after an initial fairly bad start for us, as Schumacher goes down the inside, we'll make sure we hold that position on the inside of turn 5 though. But yeah, after an initially a bad start for us, we made a position on the pole sitter no less, so it was a really awful start from Nick de Vries, and that's dropped him well down the order from reverse grid pole. Meanwhile, as we continue on, we are under fire from Mick Schumacher, and he's actually given us a hit there, and he's spun. Schumacher has had an incident there at the first corner after contact with our right hand side. Here's the onboard with Schumacher, had a move, thought about it, and in the end I think he kind of just understeered into us, didn't put enough lock on the right moment of that corner, and he's had that incident. But as we continue on, a lock up as the two Tridents are battling away. A Lacey down the inside of Ralph Boschung, and they're going to go side by side into the hairpin. What can we do in this situation to try and gain a bit of an advantage? But it's a good exit from Boschung. He's going to keep this fight going with his teammate, and they're going to continue all the way through the S's, it seems. This fight not going to end any time soon. Lacey around the outside, and he will just get ahead, learning there from what we did to him in the previous race. We've got a decent exit here against Ralph Boschung. We both have DRS on a Lacey, and we're going to go for the late move up the inside of Ralph Boschung. He just about leaves us some room there. Very sporting from him, because we didn't really deserve it there, I don't feel, but he left us the space. We went for the overtake, and we got the move done in the end on Ralph Boschung, and he drops another position. Next up ahead of us then is of course a Lacey, so we'll see if we can chase him down. But Ralph Boschung is going to have a good exit here out of the final corner. We have DRS though, and hopefully it's enough to hold him off. But Boschung is very, very quick. He's going to go to the outside as we head towards the first corner, and we should be able to outbreak him on the inside line here, and we do just that and get ahead of Ralph Boschung. Now we can focus on a Lacey once more. A bit of a slide on the exit of turn 3, but we do have a good enough exit that we won't have to worry about Ralph Boschung this time. As we continue on then, the safety car is out, and that is because Mahaveer RAGHUNATHAN has retired from the race with a mechanical failure, and parked it up just at the straight there. So yeah, that brings out the safety car, and Ralph Boschung under safety car also retired with a mechanical failure, so that might explain why he was losing pace to his teammate. But as we get ready to go for the restart, or so everyone else was, I was not prepared for this. Jeff really telling me at the last moment that safety car was going in. I know visibly the safety car had driven away, but I was just focused on the back of a Lacey's car. I did not even notice that the safety car drove away from the field, and yeah, that was an awful restart for us. And Lacey's going for the lead here, and not quite being able to get there as raindrops start to appear on the screen. But Jordan King holds on to the race lead, and he is driving a good race so far. Jordan King trying to score some points back in the championship after dropping away a little bit recently, but he is certainly still in the title hunt. As we continue on though, Jack Aitken down the inside into the first corner, as we are starting to struggle in these conditions. We hold the position around the outside though, and maintain our podium place in this one. But yeah, we're really struggling for grip now, even with the conditions as they are. But as we continue on, we're actually going to be the first to box for the intermediate tyres. I feel like it's time at this point in the race, so we're going to take that risk now and see how it works out for us. and there are a couple of other cars who came in behind us. We haven't got the call from Jeff, of course, to pit, but I just sort of felt like it was time. It's pretty easy to really tell by just the feeling of the car where the crossover point is. So yeah, that's what I think. I think the crossover point is around about now. So yeah, we're going to make our stop, of course, and see how this plays out for us as we continue on then. Past the pit lane, we elevate ourselves into 6th position. Still a few people yet to make their stops as we pass the pit lane. Once again, we retake 3rd position in this race with Elacian King further up ahead. Meanwhile, behind, Nicholas Latifi retires from the race with a mechanical failure. He's had a few of those this season, and it's really not gone his way. The Canadian in the dams not doing so well. But continuing on, back to focusing on our race then, and with 3rd position under threat now from Jake Aiken, who's trying to make the move around the outside as we head towards the first corner. We duck in for a little bit of slipstream. We go to the outside later on the brakes than the Anglo-Korean driver, and we retake that position from Jack Aiken and get ourselves back up and into 3rd, making sure we cover off any kind of switchback that he could get there, and make sure we yeah, really fight hard for this one, because we do not have the pace. But if we defend well enough, we can hold this position. A mistake there though, and that's allowed Aitken straight past out of the final corner. Sitting in the slipstream though, it might just be enough for us to try and make a re-overtaking move down towards the first corner, so we'll see what we can do. We've got a little bit of speed. Down the inside we go as Jake Aiken tries to defend, but we will slide on through down the inside and re-overtake AITKEN in the campus, and make sure we hold this position for as long as we can. Aiken though not done yet, as he's still looking for a move, but we are not going to give this up easily. He's down the inside once again though as we head towards the first corner. We're later on the brakes, and we are sliding through turn 1, and we will just about hold on to the position once again from Aiken. But surely this can only go on for so long. Eventually he's going to find a way through and make a move stick, but he's actually lost a bit on the exit there, and drops actually behind not only Mazepin but also behind Matsushita, as Matsushita was very aggressive on the inside there, taking the opportunity and gaining a position there. So good effort there by Matsushita, but now it is Nikita Mazepin down the outside as we head towards the first corner, once again drifting it through, trying to leave him space, and he's got the inside line for turn 2. We've got the inside for turn 3 though, and we'll hold on to the position once again. But this fight is surely only going to last so long. We move on then to now the final lap of the race. Mazepin's passed us again. We're going to duck in for a bit of slipstream, and we're close enough to make a move. But Matsushita's right behind us as well. We could end up with a bit of a 3-wide moment here. I'm not exactly sure where to place the car as we head in to the first corner. We go around the outside of Mazepin. Matsushita choosing to stay calm and just watch how this plays out. We make the move on Mazepin and get back up into 3rd position as Matsushita settles for 5th. Mazepin down to 4th as we head up towards turn 4, covering off the inside, as Mazepin will be trying to make the move to the outside, as we still have to leave him some room with the red proximity arrows there, but we will hold on to the position and maintain 3rd. And from this point it's going to be very difficult for him to make that overtake through the middle sector, so I think we've done enough. But someone who certainly has done enough is Jordan King. He wins the sprint race here in Mexico. A great drive from him. We move on to the end of our race, and it's going to be a 3rd place finish, and a very hard fought one in the wet conditions here in Mexico.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
I'll certainly take that. I've never been great in the wet conditions in the F2 cars, so I will certainly take a podium, and ahead of Matsushita as well.
So after a day of mixed fortunes up and down the field, we bring today's race to a close. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
Simply, they are just a better driver in the way. Here in Formula 2 we know the cars are the same, so it's not down to machinery. They can just handle the weather better than everyone else. I mean, they can have the throttle open longer, they can push more, brake later, and are able to handle it all. They make it look like they have a much faster car, but it's a pure skill behind the wheel. Really incredible driving.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be MP Motorsport picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
So it is Jordan King who wins here for the sprint race in Mexico. Giuliano Alesi finishes in second position for Trident. We finish in third for the Charus team.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Juan Manuel Correa takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Alex, I'm going to go for Nikita Mazepin. The Russian driver was amazing in the overtakes.
And now a look at the team standings. Charus moved further clear at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the MP Motorsport team today as they make their way up the standings. And after all that excitement, I think it's time for a lie down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
Well, there we have it, the end of the Mexico Formula 2 round here. Just 3 rounds to go in this championship. I wonder what they are actually. I've kind of lost track of where we have and haven't been. I know we haven't been to Brazil quite yet. It must be Circuit of the Americas, Brazil, and then France, I think, are the final 3 rounds. The season finale in France, which will be an interesting place for a finale. But I remember driving the Formula 2 cars around France quite a few times, and it's always quite a fun one. So yeah, that will be a decent place to end off the season. But yeah, Circuit of the Americas up next, I think, and yeah, that will be very, very interesting. It's in Formula 1 cars, to be honest. It's one of my least favourite tracks, but most of the tracks I've disliked in F1 cars, I've really enjoyed in the F2 cars. So yeah, that will be rather interesting to see how that one goes. But I think it will be a very good race. I mean, all F2 races are very good races. I always love driving these cars. The racing's always very, very good. But yeah, this one just struggled for pace a little bit around this circuit. Just couldn't. It's mostly that last corner. In lap speed, we were okay. But coming out of that final corner, we just couldn't get the power down efficiently enough, and just weren't really able to challenge for overtakes down the inside into the first corner, and that's really what was costing us today. And turn 3 as well, we struggled with a bit, but through the whole back section of the circuit, through the S's and the stadium section, we were okay through there in terms of pace. And wow, actually, I didn't realise at the time that was 3 wide there with AITKEN and Mazepin, and it was AITKEN who backed out there in the middle as we fought with Mazepin. So that's how AITKEN lost those 2 positions to Mazepin and Matsushita. So that clears that one up. But yeah, really hard fought race for us this time, but we held on for third. But other than that, I will say thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.